Welcome to Kuma's kitchen, where I've just sliced myself off a big slab of what I'm calling cinnamon roll soda bread. Yeah, it's one of my new inventions, soda bread, but with like cinnamon roll inside it. And, well, I love Cinnabon. The icing on Cinnabon is basically my favorite part of it, really. That I love that icing. Well, we got a lot of that on here, so that really satisfies the craving for that. Let's have a bite. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because it's soda bread, it's really easy to make. Get a little of that with a bit of that icing. And quite quick and easy to make. Easy to make the that icing for the top, just a little bit of creaming needed. And away you go. You got cinnamon on the inside. Oh, that's just fantastic. So, let's go in the kitchen. Make some right now. All right, so to make our cinnamon roll soda bread, there's a couple different batches of ingredients we need. One is for the bread, one is for the cinnamon spread itself, and there's going to be one more coming out later, which will be for the frosting on top. But it's worth all the ingredients because boy is it good. So let's go over the ingredients. First of all, for the bread itself, well, over here, a 1/4 cup of melted butter, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, not baking powder, baking soda, that reacts with the yogurt. Then we have 1 egg, 1/3 cup of brown sugar, or my usual unrefined cane sugar, or any sugar will do in this case. 1 cup of yogurt, just plain yogurt, and 2.5 cups of flour. Preferably bread flour, but flour, white flour. All right, over here, another 1/4 cup of melted butter, a 1/2 cup of walnut pieces, but that's small walnut pieces. Make sure they're broken up into small pieces like this. You don't want any big pieces in there. Over here, 2 tablespoons of cinnamon and 3/4 cup of my favorite unrefined cane sugar or any brown sugar. Across the back here, I've got a little bit extra flour. That's just for flouring the counter, so just a little bit on hand for when we need it. First thing I'm going to do is make the bread. So, first of all, let's just take the baking soda and the salt, add them into the flour, and kind of whisk that in a little bit just to make sure it's nicely combined throughout. All right, that's going to be good like that. Then in the bowl, I'm going to crack in the egg. Come here. Crack in the egg. So I want to whisk that. Then I'm going to add the yogurt. Probably going to need a little help getting the rest of that yogurt out of there. All right, so there we go. We got the yogurt. Mix that in. Gonna mix in the sugar. The butter. All that good butter in there. All right, mix that well. Now, get rid of the whisk. Let's bring the spoon back into the game. And goodbye egg cup. Gonna add the flour into the wet ingredients. I'm going to reuse that bowl, so just sit that off to one side. And now just start mixing. Bring that together. All right, now it's starting to come together. Just got to do a little cutting motion to go through there. Bring it all together. Get all that flour incorporated into the wet ingredients. All right, that's looking pretty good. What I do now is just get that all together in there. I use my hands. But before I do that, I want to mix up the cinnamon glaze. All right. Oh, put that off to one side. That bowl that the flour was in, that's going to come in handy. So, in goes the sugar, the cinnamon, and I like to mix that in first before I start adding the rest. Just get the cinnamon spread throughout the sugar. So just kind of mix that around a little bit. Break up any lumps of sugar. We're going to add the walnuts in there. Mix that around. And then the butter. And that's going to make a nice paste. So in goes the butter. Now then, start bringing that together. Whoa, get back in there. Okay, now it's all looking pretty good. So, what I want to do now, put that off to one side. Get rid of that. That looks okay. Get a little flour on the counter here. Just so I can have a place to work my bread dough on. Grab that bread dough. That's starting to come together. So I'm just going to knead it a little bit. Go around the flour a bit. And then what I want to do is just kind of spread it out. Now, we want it about the width of the bread pan. Yeah, it's going to be about like that, and roughly that width. And then I'm going to spread it out lengthways. So keep working that out a bit, working that out. I'm going to thin it down to about roughly 3/4 of an inch or 20 millimeters. Just a little flour on the hands there, work that a bit more. All right, look at that. That's coming together now. Got a hole there. We're going to stuff it. All right, starting to look good. We had about 3/4 of an inch, roughly there. Yep. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just even it out. Any pockets, going to fill them. That's looking good. Let's see, how are we doing? Yeah, perfect width. All right, so now I'm going to spread the cinnamon mixture on here. Cinnamon sugary mixture. Spread that across there. Oh, look at that. And you just kind of tamp it into the dough. So like that. And then I'm going to start rolling it. So roll it up like this. Roll it up like that. Like that. Pinch that together. That's looking pretty good. These little pieces are for me to eat afterwards. So now I've got my my baking pan here. As you can see, I've lined it inside with cooking paper. I always butter the pan first to get like a glue that'll hold that paper in place so it's easier to work with. So I've glued it in there with a little bit of butter. And now, let's move you over here a bit. Bring that over to here. I'm just going to get that. And we'll put seam side down. All right. So that's looking pretty even. You can see it's in there. Okay. That's ready to go in the oven. All right, that's going to go in the oven over there at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees for about 35 to 40 minutes. And then, well, then it's time to get ready to ice it. All right, see you back here in an hour. All right, that's looking pretty good. So that's been closer to 35 minutes, not quite 40, but it's looking good, so I'm going to give it a try. Oh yeah, that's coming out nice and clean. The crust is looking good. All right, that needs to cool down a little bit. Now let's make the icing. So here's the ingredients. What I've got across the front here is 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and then I've got a 1/4 teaspoon of almond essence just to kind of give it a little kick. Here's 1/2 cup of butter. It's been sitting out at room temperature, so it's going to be easy to cream. I've got 1.5 cups of icing sugar, and I've got 7 ounces or 200 grams of cream cheese. Again, that's been left out also at room temperature, just so it's going to be soft and easier to cream. So let's get that cream cheese into a bigger bowl. And just kind of see how easy it is to cream now. Look at that, just cream it around a little bit. All right, that's going to be easy to work with. So let's get that butter in there too. Cream that in. So now we're doing is creaming the butter and the cream cheese together until we've got it pretty even. And let's get the almond essence in there and the vanilla essence. There we go. And then cream that a bit. All right. Now what I want to do, get everything off this spoon. I'm going to get the beater in here. All right. That smells good already. I can really smell the almond essence there. All right. All right. Got the electric mixer over here. Get that in there. And just start beating that until it's a little fluffy. Now what I want to do is start adding in some of the icing sugar. So I'm going to go about 1/3 at a time and just work that in there. That's the first batch in. Get another 1/3 in there. All right, and the last bit. All right, you can see that's really quite nice and smooth. We can even give it a little taste test, see what it's like. Oh, that is absolutely heavenly. Stop me. Somebody stop me. No, I can't stop. Oh, that is so good. All right, I'm going to enjoy that later. Put those off to one side for right now. So what I'm going to do now is, let's bring a loaf right to the center here. And just going to spread it across there. Yes, the loaf's still nice and warm, quite warm. This is going to have a kind of effect of melting this a bit more, get into all the cracks and everything, and then we're going to let this cool down. And what's going to happen is we're going to have a nice coating of icing across the top. A nice heavy coating. You might notice that I go quite heavy. Yeah, I mean you could go lighter if you wanted to, but really, who wants to? I mean the icing, that is, I don't know. Maybe I was just weird, but I don't think so. I think it's basically normal like everybody else this way. When I eat cake, it's the icing I'm after. A piece of cake without icing, that's just a waste. I want lots of icing. Especially love all those pieces, the pieces from the back of the cake where all the icing runs down. All right, so what I'm gonna do here, just spread this out evenly across here. And then just gonna let this sit and cool. Might take quite a while. There's a lot of heat in there. Just let it cool down. And then later on, it's ready to slice up and serve. This is ready to be licked. that icing, that is fantastic. All right, that's been cooling for a few hours now. It's down to room temperature. Gonna get it out of there. First, let's just grab these. The nice thing about using a paper like this, just lift that out of there. All right, get rid of that. Get rid of these guys. Let me get a cutting board out here. Now, what I want to do is just going to kind of make sure, get that. Well, it's going to separate pretty nicely. Separate the icing. All right, when I lost a little bit on there, and you just kind of scrape that off and yeah, good. All right, peel that back down that side. Well, I lost a little bit there, so. All right, now what I want to do is I want to shift this from here onto there. All right, get rid of that. Oh, look at that! Isn't that beautiful? So now let's cut ourselves a piece, right? Cut down through here. And there, look at that. So we've got lots of icing, which is the way I love it. We've got the cinnamon roll inside. We've got the bread. Oh, that's just looking absolutely fantastic and tempting me badly. All right, so if you like this recipe for this try to say cinnamon a couple times. If you like this recipe for this cinnamon roll mixed with a soda bread and basically like the topping like on Cinnabon rolls, well, if you like this one, stick around. There's a lot more original Kevin Riley recipes here on the Kuma's Kitchen channel. And make sure that you're subscribed and you click that notification bell so you always know when a new one's coming up. Now, if you like this kind of recipes and you want to support this kind of channel, well, consider becoming a patron, because for as little as $3 a month, you could be supporting more and more creation of all kinds of unique and interesting recipes, and have fun with us and have fun with everybody who's in the Patreon feed. So now go make this and make cooking fun again with Kuma's Kitchen.